Welcome to an enlightened hour of interactive talk. This is Guided Spirit Conversations with host Marla Goldberg. In this program, we spotlight guests from all over the globe who have helped others change their lives and will provide you with the tips, tools, and techniques that you need to help you make a difference in your own life. Now, here is Marla Goldberg.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Well, it is Valentine's week, and this is my third annual self-love panel for my show, Guided Spirit Conversations. And I'm so looking forward to these two guests because I just feel so much coming out from them. And they walk their talk. And let me share with you who they are. We have Harmony Nixon, who is a self-love mentor, healer, teacher, writer, and author with a passion for helping people embrace who they are, so that they can shine their unique light out into the world. She guides people through deep soul exploration to heal emotional wounds, overcome fear, embrace unique gifts and talents, and remember the sacred truth of who we are, mind, body, and soul. Harmony is also the author of Unlovable, Broken Pieces of Songs and Memories, a book that takes you through a poetic journey of her experience and from the darkness into the light. Welcome, Harmony. And now we have Nicola. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, perfect.
And for many years, Shaman Nikola has been a guide on the journey for self-love and fulfillment, to inspire others to live in joy, become love, and bring their own gifts into the world. Her wisdom as a Master Shaman, certified transformational coach, trainer for NLP and hypnosis, as well as angel healing expert, guides this transformation of her clients and students. Nicola is here to help big-hearted women to drop the fear, discomfort, and need for external validation so that they can live a life of spiritual alignment, deep self-love, and soul-led manifesting at this time of great change. And it is a time of great change, isn't it? Welcome, ladies.
Hi. Thank you.
How are you doing? I'm so happy to have you here today. So it's self-love. We've been through our journeys to get us through self-love. I know I have. My book is behind me, which reminds me of yours, Harmony.
Yep, it's right there.
And Nicola, your journey to self-love, what was your path like to get there?
Yeah, very good question. So, I was all about the career path. I did my MBA. I moved from Germany to New York City. I had an office on Times Square, 47th floor, looking over Times Square. And then, my second child was diagnosed with autism. Oh. That changed everything. I was looking, I was very driven. I was looking everywhere. At that time, we lived in London. We looked really worldwide. Where could we find therapy? And we found some good therapy back in New York, but it wasn't enough. And so I went to all these seminars, especially like healing, alternative. And I went, long time. Sometimes I was away for up to a month. My husband would take care of the kids. I would just study. And every time I came home, my daughter was better. And so I really, truly learned that it's about you, that only you can shift yourself. And the more I accepted who I was, that I had a special needs daughter, my place in the world, you could say, was it my perception? Yes. But, everybody saw that she got so much better. I mean, from, being in diapers and not speaking, she's pretty independent these days, so.
It's beautiful. It's amazing what energy and the healing, the alternative healing arts we can do for someone. And Harmony, let's talk about your background a little bit and your story and how you became this self-love expert.
Well, it was pretty much when I decided I had to lead myself into my own healing experience because I had a traumatic childhood. I lost my dad at 14, right after my mom had left. And so it was like my whole world crumbled before me. And, those kind of traumas that you hold turn toxic inside when you're not processing them. And so the toxicity that I was sharing with the world at that time because of my own internal not being safe, being abandoned, all of these different things and loss and grief, it had made me literally hate myself on so many levels just because of low self-esteem, low self-confidence, feeling not wanted, all of these things. And it was when I began my spiritual journey, it was like coming home to myself, because I've always had this deep intuitive connection and this deep spiritual connection. And when I finally realized, like, oh my God, there's another way, I was changed. So I had to lead myself through my own shadows, because I knew there was two options. It was be miserable for the rest of my life or make a change. And I decided to make a change. And it's been a long journey, but I have done it, and I'm still there. I'm even nervous to be here right now, but that's okay, because I'm showing up. And it's like, I've learned how to not let my fears hold me back. I've let them be here while I still do the thing that I need to do. So,
which is a choice, and that's amazing. And I don't know if you all know my story, but because this is about self-love, I'll just give the abridged version. Like you, dysfunctional background, there was let loose in the world very early in my life, not knowing that you don't let 10-year-olds do what I did. I lived in the city of Chicago, and I would take 2 buses and a train by myself at 10 to get to appointments, like medical appointments, eye doctor. Who does that, right? I mean, you don't even let your children go out by themselves in the front anymore.
yeah.
And and I thought that I was like this, resourceful, which I was resourceful, but I was making decisions for myself, et cetera, et cetera. And the reality of it was decisions not based because I loved it myself, but I too was dealing with neglect and abandonment, and I didn't realize how it imprinted me and the decisions I would make in my life that would not serve me. And when I made the big bad decision of marrying my first husband, how that really brought me to my knees and took me to a place where I started down the spiritual path, even though I didn't know I was going down the spiritual path, because I didn't know that was what I was signing up for. But I will tell you, I am grateful each and every day that we have that ability between us, that we've hit our bottom, or whatever it might be, and have raised ourselves up and are now working and living towards our own self-love journey and helping others to shorten their journey to finding self-love. And I find it to be so important. So let's start with asking, why is self-love so important? I know we know, but let's talk our own ways of putting it out there to everybody. Harmony, why don't you start with this one?
I think self-love is so important, because I really believe that your reality of how you experience your reality is all what's going on inside. So no matter, like, if you're going to feel like a victim your whole life because of your experiences, it's because you feel that those experiences are you, right?
Yes.
And so if you can step outside of that and realize that you're not your thoughts, you're not your experiences, you're not even your emotions, you are a separate being, you're a soul outside of that, you can start to look at your life through your soul's eyes instead of your trauma. So self-love takes you layer by layer by layer into the depths of your soul. And who doesn't want to live a soulful life, right? That's where true pleasure, true bliss, true happiness comes from. And that's why I think self-love is so important, because it's soulful living.
It's true. Nicola.
Yeah, so what I saw as I was looking for help for my daughter, we make others wrong, we make the partner wrong, the brother, the mom, the work, right? And I more and more I still wanted to hone it down. Where does it come from? Where does it come from, right? And I really realized it's just like through my journey, even with a special needs daughter, it's only you can change. It's the only power you have. And when you step into that power, that everything comes from you, and just deciding that you are the cause, then you can change it. And it's really only with love, because that big saying, there's no fear, there's just a lack of love.
Yes.
When you fill everything with love that comes from you, and find that own love for yourself. I see self-love really as falling in love with yourself. Like, you don't need that amazing partner, that amazing mother, because when you love yourself, you can just see everybody else as a gift, and everything else is just a nice add-on, because you are so content with being with yourself.
Yes, I agree. And yeah, I'll just add another layer onto it, because it's also about honoring yourself and who you are in the decisions you make based on that. If you don't accept yourself, if you don't like yourself, you're not going to make decisions that will bring you the manifested life that you really want, that we all are divinely here to live. Once we get through our karmic crap that we have to clean up, it's, we have to add that into the mix just a little bit, but it's what gives us the stepping stones to growth, to learning how to accept and love ourselves. I like to say warts, wrinkles, and all. So, because you guys are younger, you probably don't have those wart wrinkle things, but that's where I talk from.
No, I understand.
But, so let's talk about how does one start connecting to self-love? The way you share with your clients.
Yes.
Nicola, let's start with you.
Yes, perfect. So, I interweave clearing old patterns, old mindsets, old stories with having new experiences. So on one side, we let go of all the negative emotions that happened, understand why, really get in that power, why my clients chose their parents, connect back to their soul. What was their soul planning this lifetime? And then connect to their heart and really go back to maybe a joyful experience or a made up experience where they can more and more see what would it actually look like when I totally live. I'm all about joy. So really living in that joy, looking for joy, we saw that the society is so prone to what's wrong instead of what's right in my life. And some clients I might start with, be grateful for the moon and the sun rising every day. And some clients might have like experiences, oh my God, my daughter's birth was amazing. So interweaving, letting go and creating this, oh my God, yes, this is there. And the more we clear, the more they can step into that. And, it's a practice. I also say it's a practice. It's like green juice, right? You can't eat healthy food for a week and then think you don't need it anymore the rest of your life. Right? So it's like getting into that routine. I need my workout every day, but it's easier and easier because I let go of the old stories.
It's true. It is so true. And I need to do that more. And Harmony.
I love what you said, because it's so similar to, I work with limiting beliefs and limiting patterns of like all the programming that we dealt with when we were young and like the way we were taught to view the world and things like that. And that's one thing I work on with clients to release, like make room for soul, pretty much like make room, like dust off all the shit that's like in the way,
Yes.
But the main thing that I tell my clients is if you want to start a self-love practice, it has to begin with, imagine the person that you love the most in your life, like your grandmother, whoever that may be, whoever that person is. And imagine that you are that person talking to yourself in times of crisis. Like even when you're putting on pants and you have muffin top happening, okay? Those moments when you're freaking the heck out, be gentle with yourself. Don't allow yourself to just attack your mind. It's like, talk to yourself gently. If you're having a problem, like be that guidance, be that person that you wish was telling you those things. That's been the biggest thing for myself of how I've helped also with like releasing and doing the deep energy work. But it's like that shift on a daily basis, changing the way I interact with myself is what has changed my life.
That is so true. I mean, both of what you both have said has got so much weight, and I hope that you're listening out there because these are such great things to bring into your life and to start looking at. But the question I have is, what if, and there are people like this who never had anybody that they look up to, anybody that they idolize or adore, and they want to emulate. What happens when you have somebody like that?
I would say, you know how Nicola just said to imagine a joyful situation. Like I would say, imagine exactly who you want to be standing in front of you. It could be a celebrity for frick's sake, from your favorite movie. It could be anything. Just having like, picture that person in front of you that can just, if you can picture someone unconditionally loving you, use your imagination if you have to, and then talk to yourself that way. Sometimes you just have to use your imagination until you can feel it on your soul level, because the truth is that we all have that unconditional love and we can tap into it. We just have to find our way there.
Yeah.
I agree. Go
If
ahead.
I can just add, I also sometimes when I encounter clients like that, because I create sacred space, I really want them to empower them. So I ask them to call in a guide or an angel and just trust that whoever is there for them right now to guide them. And it's a whole new level for them, especially if they haven't had anybody like that before, because the more they do it, they feel the energy shift.
It's so true. And there's so many people who just don't have that support, whether it be familia or in school, or even friends who can do that for you, because you tend to gravitate to people who are at the same place that you're at.
Yes.
So it's learning how to, break out of those binds that are holding you, to know that you can expand more, and really, become the person that, again, I keep saying the person you're meant to be, because when we choose our lives, we don't choose to be in a little box that we stay in, of dysfunction or abuse or whatever it might be. It's to learn how to get out. It's like being in a maze. And it's getting out of the maze so you can get into the field with the sun and the light and the corn and the wheat and, beauty, beauty, fun, fun. And you have fun while doing it. And it's also, in my opinion, belief systems. Because if you believe that there's no way of feeling happiness, then you won't find that road to love. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that, Harmony? Let's start with you.
I definitely agree with that, because I feel like it's our limiting beliefs is what is projecting, our belief systems is what's projecting our reality and the way we experience reality. And so if you believe that you're not lovable, which I totally understand what that feels like, because I was that person and I did not know you could fall in love with yourself, but it is freaking true. Okay. Because oh my gosh, like there was a day where I'm like, oh my God, this is real. But like changing your beliefs and shifting your beliefs is so easy, but it's when you go into that meditative state, like when you can get really silent, even if you don't know how to meditate, just be quiet and close your eyes. Like when you shut your eyes and you shut out the external stimuli, that like soft space where everything gets really still, that's when you can shift beliefs. And so if you can just try to reprogram yourself, and there's many different ways that you can do this, so many different methods out there. But the thing that's going to happen is when you shift your beliefs, your reality instantly changes. It just changes.
It's so
So
true.
aligning your beliefs with what you want is what's going to help like change your life.
Nicola,
Yeah, and
sorry.
I what I always see is, the second step is really holding to that, because society so often, first of all, you get tested, and secondly, it's like out there, people so want to hold on to the old belief because it makes you, disempowered, and then they think it's easier, right? And so it's holding up this new belief against, almost against, like within everyone else, right? Like everybody's like, oh, working out is like a hard work, and you're like, no, I love working out and I'm looking forward for it every day. And so that's really the next big step of really standing up for it, that you believe in it and that it's good for you, and you defend it because you chose this new belief.
I agree. I totally agree that when you make your mind up and you start taking your belief systems and not just saying it, here's the difference, because somebody might say, oh, I'm not negative, right? And they go, I'm taking this position from now on, I'm going to be positive, I'm going to be impeccable with my words. And then something happens, somebody might cut them off or say something, and they're like sounding like a truck driver. You've it's incongruent, and it needs to be made like a blend, of beliefs. If you're going to say you want to be positive, then you have to really be mindful of what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're doing and how you're doing it. It just, to me, it's that really makes a big difference too in the processing of learning to love yourself. We need to take a break right now. Hang on, we'll be right back we have Harmony Nixon. Oh my goodness. I keep calling you Dixon. I apologize. And Nicola Fernandes.
All right, great job. We're all clear. I will edit that little part there at the end for
Thank
you.
you.
No
Oh
problem.
my God. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I've done both. I've called you Nixon. Dixon is like, think of the president. We'll be good.
This is such a beautiful conversation. I love this.
Me too. I'm sitting here thinking of how lovely it is to all collab like this. I mean, you don't get this on a normal basis, especially in 2021 when everybody's at home, so this is so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, I want it to be a platform. Yeah, my goal is to spotlight people. I want people to learn who you are, because you have something to say. You have a message, and obviously it's congruent with mine, and it's Valentine's Day, weekend, and so it's nice that people are learning to learn. Let's focus at us. I mean, you may have your partner and you may have your kids, but you still need to love you first, because it's that oxygen mask analogy, right? You have to put on your oxygen mask. You have to take care of yourself first, or you're not going to have the wherewithal to take care of anybody else.
Yes. And you'll be happier in your own relationships when you love yourself, because you're not externally wanting something from them. You're fulfilled in yourself and you can just enjoy them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know you have something to say, Nicola.
Yeah, I just feel like, now and with all the shifts happening, there's this big, separation of people who want to just still think that it's their partner and their parents and their upbringing and whatnot. And they don't want to shift. And it's like I'm almost like, my target clients, I really go away from them. I'm like, if you can't see that you need to start with yourself, I'm not the right person for you. So I see I saw it before, but now with 2021, it's like, it's like two highways.
Well, we had such a powerful shift in December with all those changes and whatever. And what you're going to find, in my opinion, is you're going to find people who, are like, you know what, let's try this because this isn't working. This other way isn't working. Or these other people are going to dig their heels in. And the ones who dig their heels in, they're the ones who are going to have the same lesson over and over and over again. I know this. I did that. I know that firsthand. Or you're going to be open to, there's got to be something else out there. There's got to be something bigger, better, more supportive than what I've experienced. And then you go for that. And that makes a huge difference, in my opinion.
Yes. I think one of the big
Marla, coming
things.
back in about 12 seconds.
Great. Thanks. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think one of the big things is like I feel, I don't know, maybe we don't, but I feel like we all have that thing inside of us that says we can do something great. And then we teach ourselves to ignore that crap because society says, nope.
We don't teach ourselves that.
Our parents.
Society teaches that.
Guided Spirit
Yes.
Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberg or her guest today, you're invited to call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday and happy Valentine's Day week. Well, I felt that this was the perfect time to have my annual self-love panel because, many of us were brought up going outside ourselves. We had to find love from somebody else to be accepted. Really, let's accept ourselves, love ourselves first, and then we will bring to us everything. It will manifest, it will fall into place because you are that common denominator in all your relationships. And with me today, I have two amazing self-love experts. We have Shaman Nicola Fernandes, and Nicola has been a guide on the journey for self-love and fulfillment to inspire others to live in joy, become love, and bring their own gifts to the world. And we have Harmony Nixon, a self-love mentor, healer, teacher, writer, and author with a passion for helping people embrace who they are so that they can shine their unique light out into the world. Then if you want to check out Nicola, her website is selflovewithnicola, Nicola.com. And Harmony has harmonyhealings.com. So check these ladies out, see what they do. I'm sure that they will help you on your path to self-love. Welcome back, ladies. How are you?
Good.
Good. So we were talking, Harmony, when we were coming back, you were just about saying something when we were on break about what you're feeling. Let's start with that.
About how I feel like we all have this thing inside of us to where we know that we can be great in our highest self. Like we have this craving for more soul. And then we're taught by society and by our parents and our programming that it's not safe. It's not okay to do that. We have to do something else. And I just think that if we could learn that that's just programming, it's not true. It's like that deep thing that we felt when we were kids, like that freedom feeling, that curiosity, creativity, that is like our soul talking, and that is real. And if we could tap into that, we can change our direction in life.
It's so true. Nicola.
Yeah, if I can add two things. One is that, I always go back with my clients and see that they chose their parents for a reason, that all this teaching from their parents was because it's for them to experience the negative so they can see what's really the positive that they want. Because if they would have the perfect parents, they wouldn't understand how important it all is to be empowered, to step into your beliefs, right? And so it's actually the parents who set them up for this shift. But until they can see that, they get stuck in making their parents wrong. And the other thing is that as we think we get taught by society, I really work with my clients to see that they accepted that decision for themselves. And when they see it was their decision, then they can just change their decision, right? So at some point we were so, oh my God, we can do anything, but we want to love our parents. And so we agree to them. And it was our decision to agree, but we can just disagree and still love them.
Yes.
So what do you say to your clients who come to you and they're not a believer in this? They're just resistant to this.
Yeah, totally. I work a lot with their unconscious mind. So as I talk, I know it's not just their conscious mind, but it's their unconscious mind listening. And the more they see the love we work with, the more their unconscious mind opens up. And I travel with them, and I'm very, very intuitive. And so, but I guide them to the different places. And it's kind of like walking with them up a mountain. I don't just go ahead. I show them, where are the berries to eat? Where do you find water? How to look at the clouds overnight. And more they see it. They see it. Oh my God, these berries feel really good. And, especially my one-on-one clients, it's wherever they go, step by step. But, like we said before, calling in spirit guides or angels, they suddenly like, holy camole, I got a nudge. There was something. Did you just have your hand on my leg? So and I just trust spirit that wherever, like, it's perfect what happens, and they get into it and they open up more. And it's my trust in them that they are on a journey.
Beautiful. What about you, Harmony?
About how I work with my one-on-ones?
Well, if you have non-believers, if people come to you and there's like, they're skeptics, it's like, come on, show me how this is done, and they're not necessarily immediately open.
Well, I think anyone who comes to me, even if they are resistant at first, which I've had the people who are resistant, they're there for a reason. And so that they want the change. And so, I mean, it's very similar of how Nicola, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. We say Nicola. Okay, I'm so sorry. But how you were saying you call in that energy, I love to set space for my clients too, and they can feel that shift.
Yes.
And, as it's, when they're resistant, it is kind of like going through the mud. And I'm walking them down. I walk them into their own soul and walk them through their own experience. But after we start doing the energy releasing, and then they can feel the difference and they can feel the lightness, like they feel that shift happening. That's when they're like, okay, wait a second, So it's like when you can guide them into themselves, if you can just like work with the resistance, just like working through the fear kind of thing, on a daily basis. If you don't let your fear rule you, you're fine. You can still do things. But as long as I can get them through that resistance, then they start feeling it because they're going inside.
It's so true. It is so true. And those are such great things. Yes.
If I can just add, and I'm sure Harmony agrees, we are both so intuitive that we would feel if somebody is like purposefully holding on to the resistance. And so then actually not, expecting them to release it, but working on what's the benefit of you holding on to that? What, you invested all this time and money to work with me. You're taking my time. What's underneath that?
So, the benefit is the devil, opposed to the devil you don't. It's those people who are so comfortable in the pain and the dysfunction because that's all they know. And they're afraid to walk through, I call it the veil of fear, so that they understand what, feeling good is like, that, put what other people have put on you aside, take the leap of faith, right? So you're able to at least start to feel what happiness is, what joy is. How are we joyful and how do we bring that into life and live that way? I know for me personally, gratitude is my number one go-to, having a gratitude practice. And I feel that gratitude brings joy into one's daily life. Harmony, what do you think?
Oh, I definitely agree. Yes. And that's what I was doing like last night. I was in that space of, because I have anxiety sometimes. I let my mind kind of go, but to control that, it's when I sink into this gratitude mode to where I literally feel myself opening up and just being grateful for exactly what is now, what is right now. as humans, we do worry about the future. We worry about the past sometimes and all these things. But if you can really just sink into a moment of gratitude, it will bring you so present and so embodied. And it's in the present moment where you can actually feel pleasure of being alive. You feel your aliveness instead of being in your mind all the time. So I think gratitude is a wonderful, like, I don't care how cliche that looks of like writing down your gratitude list. It is powerful.
It is powerful.
And I love writing. So it's like writing is my thing.
Oh, that's great.
I freaking love it.
Nicola, how about you?
I have to say a lot of clients who come to me have heard all about the gratitude, and they kind of like think, it's kind of like their cup is already full with the gratitude. Oh, I'm doing this, and so I need to shake them off. And so what I do a lot is, I do a lot of time travel, and then I collapse time. So I go like 10 years from now. And because you can't have the anxiety if something happened already, I really let them experience their life and tell them that it's them making it up. It's like, making a movie. So they can decide whatever they want to see there. And so then, I shake it up that all this is possible because it's really in their power. It's what movie are they making for in 10 years?
I love that. That's a beautiful way of really getting somebody outside themselves to let them design their future life, and they can make it as elaborate or as simple as they want it to be, whatever makes them comfortable. You know what I want to do? I want to jump into calling the angels, asking the angels, because angels do not deal with, they don't have free will. So they need to be called upon and asked for whatever it is you need. I'm going to start with you, Nicola. So with this, let's talk about how to ask the angels, or, when to ask the angels to step in and help.
I do it so often when, because I really want to empower my clients. So I take them on these journeys, and I ask them to, communicate with somebody like their future self, their healed self, their past self, their younger self. And if, especially in the beginning, if they don't get answers, I have this middle man or woman, or, neutral person, and for that I so often use the angels, and somehow they suddenly get all the answers as I let them communicate through the angels. And how I do it is just, I really just, I make it even more open. I ask, please call in anyone from the invisible world who is just perfect to help you in this situation right now, and then just ask them, what's their name, how would you like to refer to them. I asked them, let me know when they're there. And they're always, it has never occurred to me that not somebody had showed up, and they're like, oh, they're there. And suddenly they get all the answers. And so I don't make it about, angels like this whole hierarchy. Is it an archangel? Is it a guardian angels? I just trust that it's important for this situation to have the right guide there.
That the appropriate one will show up. Harmony, do you have any insights into this? Do you work with the angels?
Well, I work with angels and goddesses. I love working with goddess archetypes, especially. And I work with Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene a lot, Mother Mary. And I love calling them as guiding lights. Kuan Yin and Mother Mary have so much in common. And the energy is unconditional compassion and love. And so like when I'm helping someone learn to love themselves, calling that energy in, it's like you said, it's like this energy that's over, it's everything. It's so big, and it's almost like you can't experience that without having some kind of healing shift inside. So I work a lot with Kuan Yin, but at the beginning of my sessions, I call in their guides, whatever is needed in the best and highest way. I release my ego, try to get completely clear so we can be in that space of miraculous healing. And so I love working with the goddesses, though, through healing sessions and through the things that I create to share with my clients and things.
So the bottom line is ask.
Yeah, just ask.
Never. It could be an angel, it could be a god, it could be an archangel. Ask, and they will be there to bring it to you. You might have to ask a couple of times, because I believe that spirit sort of tests, and like that. So for example, you say, oh, I don't want another relationship like this again. And then they bring you on to say, really? You sure you don't want this relationship again? Well, you have to say, no, I don't. And this is done and over with. Bring me what I want. Bring me what I request, what I want to manifest, before it comes and gets actually brought in and delivered. So I think asking the questions is, asking for that help. Because if you don't ask, nobody knows that you need the help, that or where you need the help. So I want to go back to, I know you've brought up a couple of times, Nicola, about we choose our parents. Now I understand what this means, but for people out there who go, why the F would I choose those parents? Why would I choose this life? So I'm going to let you answer that one first.
Totally. This is perfect. I don't talk to them consciously. Oh, it's kind of like they get obviously defined if I would just say, oh, you chose your parents. But, I travel back to their soul. And when they connect to their soul, and I really let them connect to their soul, and they ask literally their soul, what did I want to learn from my parents? And they get an answer. They get an answer either directly, or we call in a guide or angel, and they realize, oh my God, I wanted to learn this, so I chose them because they would teach me best. I mean, they come by themselves to the conclusion.
Which is wonderful. Harmony.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. Finding the wisdom in things like that, I think, is so powerful. It's has powerful to instantly heal resentments, grudges, all of those things. Finding the wisdom in knowing why this happened, and really, looking into and like meditating with why you're here. Why did that happen? What did you learn from that situation? What did I learn from losing my dad at that age? What did I learn from all this happening? Well, I've learned how to be myself, learned how to be empowered. I've learned how to find my healing journey so I could help people, So it's like, that happens. Everyone has a story. What are you going to do with it?
That's so true. It's so true. And I'm the same way. I talk about that with my people. It's like you choose this family, you chose this family and this situation, this life, because of what you need to learn, teach, because we're teachers as well, and the karma we need to clean up. So when you think about it, look at your life and see now with a new eyes why you chose this family and these experiences. Because I know for me, everything I've gone through, I chose it because now I have more tools in my toolbox to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you step through the dark, whatever the dark is, and you come out the light, you're gaining all this experience and knowledge that you're able to use to help someone else in their lifetime. We have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to leave it, start with you, Nicola, give her a quick answer, and then we'll go to Harmony real quick.
Repeat your question for me, Marla.
So it's about, I was just finishing up with, about why we choose our parents, why we choose our lives, and what goes on. But I just realized you had already answered that. So let's go to break. We'll come right back on the other side, and we'll start again with our charity shout out. So stay tuned. Thanks.
All right, excellent segment. Good job. All clear. Back in about 2.
Thank you. Oh my God, my brain, I think, is still on the thing I just did. I finished before coming on here.
Oh, good. I hope I said it gently, because I honestly wasn't sure what the question was.
You are perfect. You are absolutely perfect. There is no offense on my side. If there was, you'd probably see my face go, huh? It's all good. And I realized I was the last one answering the question, duh.
You're giving so much to people. I have to be honest, I don't listen to radio really, but this is so beautiful what you're providing, Marla.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's important to me. It's important to me to make someone else's journey shorter. And if I can do it through spotlighting amazing people that are regional, right? So now this is an international audience. Internationally, people will hear and see this. Mm-hmm. So it sort of brings a spotlight to you and what you do and how you can help for those that resonate with what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
That they're able to come to you and get the assistance that they need. In the meantime, hopefully we're giving them tips, ideas, tools, techniques, something that they can easily incorporate into their life. And for them to either enhance, shift, change, whatever they deem necessary for their lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always also something bigger. I just was planning with one of my mastermind partners to start a podcast based on the Course in Miracles. And there you are. teaching me another model of a podcast, right?
That's awesome.
It's about your passion and what you want to do. And my whole thing, excuse me, is about making someone's journey shorter. I think Harmony, you said that also,
Yes.
because I mean, I was a late bloomer. And then I didn't even learn the first time around. I had to have spirit actually yell at me, seriously yell at me to get my butt in gear. And then I had to start saying yes to opportunities and experiences and being open so that, and then my life, the transformation from January of 2018 to today is unbelievable. 3 short years.
Oh, wow. It happens fast when you're ready. And when it's like, when you're ready to step up, which we can always be ready to step up on another level. And it happens fast when you're open. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Marla, we are just about to come back.
Perfect. Thank you.
You are listening to Guided Spirit Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberg or her guest today, you're invited to call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is my third annual self-love panel. And so today my guests on my panel are Nicola Fernandes. And Nicola is a shaman and has been on a path to guiding in her journey for self-love and fulfillment, to inspire others to live in joy and become love, and to bring their own gifts into the world. And I also have Harmony Nixon, a self-love mentor, healer, teacher, writer, and author with a passion for helping people embrace who they are so that they can shine their unique light out into this world. Welcome back, ladies. And we have charity shout out time. So we have two charities today because I have two guests. And the first charity is the Coalition of Rainforest Nations. And the second charity is One Tree Planted. So I'm going to call on you each to talk about your charities and where they can find it and why you're passionate. And I'm going to start with you, Nicola.
Yes, so Coalition for Rainforest Nations, I want to tell you, I have 3 kids. One, as you heard, has special needs. My youngest daughter is a total activist. Really, she's 16 and she really wants to change this world. And when you asked for a charity, because I so believe in self-love, but I'm not, I'm so in the spiritual world. She's much more in this world. I went to her and I said, Mia, which charity would serve you best? And she actually in a second came up with this, and it's all about the rainforest, really protecting them. And she does all the research that this charity really goes, nowadays so directly, the money really to supporting 100% the charity and not like 80% to the overhead, which
Right.
happens in a lot of charities. So obviously the rainforest is also woods, and as a shaman we work a lot with the nature elements. So it was like interweaving, bringing in my daughter, they're part of my business. My life is my business. So so I invite everyone who is in any way interested in the rainforest to really look at this charity. It's amazing, and like I said, it goes all directly to the charity.
So check out rainforestcoalition.org. And Harmony, let's talk about your charity, One Planted Tree.
So onetreeplanted.org is a place where I wrote it wrong on there. That was my bad. But it's One Tree Planted. And what they do is for $1, you can plant a tree around the world, and you can go on there and you can see where you want your tree planted. And so I teamed up with them actually this year. I wanted to do something more for the earth. I'm very earth-based as well in my practice. I try to do the best I can for, to help the planet. I eat a plant-based lifestyle, all those things, but you can plant a tree with just $1. So like every session that you get with me, 10% is donated to them to plant trees as well. So every time you're healing yourself, you're also healing the planet. I love their mission, and you can actually go on there and check it out. They're doing amazing things. I believe I can't remember the exact, but it was like 3 million trees were planted last year.
Bravo.
And I just think that is so amazing because their main thing is global reforestation. So I just think that's awesome. And check it out if you want to.
That is onetreeplanted.org. So thank you. Excuse me, I apologize. So as we're sort of winding up, I'm going to let you share something that I might not have asked that you want to have out in the world. So Harmony, I'm going to start with you.
What do I want to have out in the world? Oh man, there's so much. You can always find the light in the dark, no matter what. That is one of the biggest things I love talking about of, stars don't shine in the light, they shine in the dark. And I think that's something that we can really bring to ourselves of like, how can we shine in the dark and our fear and our own suffering? You can shift that with your light. It's like learning how to shine through the suffering, through the mind blocks, through those things. You can change in an instant. Next time anyone is feeling overwhelmed or they're not good enough or they're feeling unlovable or they're feeling ashamed of anything, choose light in that moment. And that's where the transformation happens, is in the moment of darkness, shine your light and see what happens, because you will be blown away. You will change a lot within yourself and in your mind.
That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. Nicola.
What's really important for me is for people to know that they can give themselves permission to be selfish in the way of feeling good and feeling joy. I see so many people who break through their limiting beliefs, who say they can do it, and then they feel guilty that they feel good. And I really want everybody to know that there's service in your joy. As long as you don't as long as you're not joyful on others' expenses, there's such a gift to the world and to others when you are joyful, because everybody around you gets a piece of it, and you give others permission to be joyful. And there's really nothing gained in feeling bad or small or something is wrong with you. When you are in a place that you reach, that you are happy and feeling good, give yourself permission to stay there.
That is, both of your messages are so powerful. It's really amazing. Let's talk about how joy weaves into self-love. Okay, I'm going to start with Nicola.
So I feel, once you reach those, first it's like little spots where you feel that love in yourself. You might connect to your heart, you might connect to your soul, how it was really like so excited about this lifetime. And to really sustain that, I see it not so much as being happy, but finding that joyful piece. Joy really doesn't have so much an opposite. It's like one of those higher emotions like love, where you just are there. And so when you look for, a lot of my clients, I teach to just look for the joy. Every moment, sit down in the beginning of the day. What brings you joy? What brings you joy today? And it's not like this, like, oh my God, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. It's just like, oh, there was a flower in my garden. Oh, a bird flew by. And when you focus more and more on that joy, then that's the self-love that comes automatically. So it's like this, infinity symbol. You first connect to the self-love, and then the joy brings it back. And so you have constantly this interweaving, this braiding of the two that let you stay in that place.
So true. Harmony, what do you have to share?
Well, I have, on my own journey, I have realized that my joy used to be dampened by shame. And so if you can realize that if you're a person who has a hard time connecting with joy, maybe there's something on top of it, like shame or some kind of really big emotion that is making you feel wrong for feeling that way. And if you can realize that that's just an emotion and observe yourself without the limitations, without who you are, like step into your observer state where you're watching yourself live life, that's where you can step outside of the box of shame or whatever emotion you're feeling, and you can actually experience it. So I feel like sometimes when you can't really connect with it, just step outside and realize that you can really embody yourself from that higher perspective.
I love that. And because so many people walk around with guilt, shame, they talk, like we started the show, people talk to themselves worse than they talk to anybody else. I mean, even their worst enemy, they talk to themselves way worse. They beat themselves way more. What do you give? What advice, guidance do you give to people who walk around just, calling themselves name and just pounding on themselves? Harmony, I'm going to start with you.
That's one thing I tapped on earlier was like, imagine talking to yourself in the most loving way you can. You have to, honestly, it's a choice, and it's a brave choice, because you're literally changing everything in your inner world. You have to make that choice of like, I deserve better than this crap, pretty much. I deserve better than this crap. And I'm going to set my personal boundaries of not allowing myself to talk to me that way. And you just change the way you talk to yourself. It's a big choice. It's a bold choice, but you have to stand up for yourself. I deserve more.
So what if someone starts like saying that and they're fighting with themselves inside? How do you guide them to stop fighting with your inner self and to start being gentle and taking self-care, for yourself?
When you're in the inner fight, in the inner war, it's because you are identified with your emotions and your beliefs. You're identified with them. You are them. You are wrapped up in them, drowning in them. You're in an ocean, right? When you realize you're not the ocean, you are separate from the ocean, and you have this different thing. You have to do something, whether it's meditation, transcendental meditation, whatever you want to do, whatever you can do to step outside of your emotions. That's how you're going to change it. Because if you are identifying with your emotions, like, this is who I am, it's going to be real hard. You have to realize that's not who you are. Step outside of that and then look at it. And then it's so much easier to be like, well, shit, I was so mean to myself right now. Like, what am I doing?
Love that. Nicola.
For me, it's very easy, because every emotion, first of all, it's just a sign that there's some learning. It's like how the body works. Even negative emotions are perfect. They're just like a roadblock. Oh, stop. You need to stop here. So you need to pay attention. But, so often these emotions, they come from much earlier. So what you need to do is really go back to, and I always say, how people say, you need to not just cut the weed, but pull the roots. I go really back to, when did the wind blow that seed that weed even was able to grow there? So you need to go back to the very first time that you experienced, shame, guilt, whatever it was, and not even to that place. You need to go to the place where you saw somebody else having that emotion. So where the first time ever that you even realized that emotion is possible, and then make a different decision in the terms of get the learning, because emotions are just there for you to learn. And once the soul, the unconscious, learns, it can just let go. No more reason to hold on to it. But it just becomes worse and worse and worse, because it's like the mailman knocking on the door. I have mail, you need to open. And until you open.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Ladies, thank you so much for being a part of this year's Self-Love panel. I am so grateful that you're here and shared all this amazing information. I'm saying thank you to Harmony Nixon and to Nicola Fernandes. And please check out these ladies. So Nicola is selflovewithnicola.com, and we've got harmonyhearthealings.com. And look at their websites, check them out, reach out to them. If you have a question, feel free to send it to them. But I'm sure that they would be happy to be of service to you and help you on your journey to make your journey a little shorter to self-love. I want to thank everyone at Voice America and all they do to help me get my show up, and their patience and tolerance, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. I want to thank Bridget, my assistant, my right arm, my left arm, and again, she keeps me so on track, and I'm so grateful for that. I am grateful for you, the listening audience, for taking the time out of your day, out of your life to participate in this show. And I hope, and my prayers, my intention is that you receive what you need from listening to the guests that I have on, because I bring them on to help you in your life circumstances, to help enhance, tweak, or change them, whatever it might be. So thank you so much. So grateful for you. It's Valentine's weekend. I wish you all self-love and love, just love. And because that's what everything is really, everything will change with love. And it starts with you. So self-care, self-love, it is your world. It is, make it what you want. It's your blank canvas. Make it as colorful as you'd like it to be, and enjoy the journey. And I want to remind you also, we're still in that place where we need to be socially considerate. please, I implore you to please be socially considerate of others. Wear your mask, not because it's a mandate, but because you want to protect yourself and you want to protect your loved ones and even those you don't know that you come upon. And that is what socially considerate is all about. You don't want the karma of unknowingly making someone ill and possibly having their last breath. So by you being open and considerate of others will help you then stop this pandemic so we could get back to our new normal, whatever that might be. So again, as I leave you, I send you love. I send you blessings. I send you gratitude. Know how much I love you and how grateful I am for you being in my world each and every day. Stay well. Take care.